Okay, in today's video, first we're going to review over some problems from last time, okay, solving inequalities. So, you have to find all the possible values for x at where x divided by -4 is less than or equal to 2. So to find all the possible values, you're going to make a number line, okay. X is on this side with a division operator, so to solve a division problem, we need to multiply by -4. Now the number I'm multiplying by is negative, so on division multiplication with negatives, I don't care about that number, okay? I need to flip the sign, okay? So you need times by -4 times by -4. So you have x greater than or equal to -8. So we have -8, highlight that side, and that goes this way. So x greater than or equal to -8. Okay, now in the next problem, -2x plus 3 greater than or equal to -11 plus 5x. So now we have like terms of x on opposite sides. Now, when I say take out the smaller one, that's if it's equals. Okay? Now that we're no longer dealing with just equals, I would recommend you start taking the one off the right side. So minus 5x. Minus 5x, because we want the x and the sign won't change. We want the x to end up here so that I don't have to reorder it. If you're at -2 on a number line, you go 5 to the left, that's -7, because you're at -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, so it's -7x plus 3, and then -11. Now I solve it, okay? So, now that I have x on one side, I know I have to minus 3, and I have to divide by -7. I don't care about that number. So when I minus 3, the sign's not going to change. But when I divide, it's going to be by a negative, which will change the sign. So subtract 3, get -14. Then you divide each side by your -7, and you have x and 2. Okay. So x2 and anything less than 2. Just like that. Okay, next problem. We have like terms of x on opposite sides. Now, if you look at it, before you just go after that one, you see how it's the same as what it is on the other side? So that means we cross them out at the same time, okay? Because 4 minus 4 is 0x, okay? Alright, so this will not be needed. What we have is a situation where we have all solutions or no solutions. 9 and 12. 12 is bigger. It should be eating the 12. It's not, so that's no solutions. 9 greater than 12? No. Okay? And it's not equal either. So no solutions. Now the next one, we have -2 times the quantity x plus 3 is less than or equal to 12. Okay. So first you have to distribute through your quantity. That doesn't change the sign ever, even if it's a negative. So -2x plus -6, 12. Remember to take -2 times 3, 2. So on this side we have times and plus a -6. So I need to add the 6 and divide by the -2. So I'm adding, the sign doesn't change. When I divide, it's going to be by a negative, so the sign will change. So we add 6 to each side and you get 18. Then the sign flips, you divide by -2 and you have x, -9. Okay, so greater than -9 takes us this way. X is greater than or equal to -9. Okay, now we're going to do some story problems, and these are a little bit confusing if you kind of don't read the problem, because a box and a table ain't going to help you. Okay, you have to kind of just write the inequality across and then solve it. Now I've got some methods to help you, but you have to read the problem and kind of think through it. A club has a goal to sell at least 25 plants for a fundraiser. Club members sell 8 plants on Wednesday and 9 plants on Thursday. Write and solve an inequality that gives the possible numbers of plants the club can sell Friday to meet their goal. Okay. Write an inequality. That means you need to use a greater than or a less than. Well, a goal, when you set a goal, you can go greater than or equal to the goal. So the goal is 25. Please put the label above the 25. Okay. Plants. So I'll cross that out. Now I want you to find all values in there that are plants related. Well, we got 8 plants and 9 plants. Put those up here, 8 and 9. You don't need to put their label. Now I got a question for you. Those given amounts, do they come in multiples? Meaning, is there more than one time that occurs? I got a question. Better question would be 8 plants on Wednesday. There's only one Wednesday in a week, isn't there? Okay, yeah, so this does not come in multiples. 9 plants on Thursday. Well, there's not more than one Thursday in a week, so that doesn't come in multiples. So we do not apply multiples to these. So if you don't apply multiples, you simply go here and write 8 plus 9, and your variable that you're solving for is going to be added to those two given amounts. Now for the variable, you can use any letter you want. You can use P for plants, you can use W or F for Friday, you can use X if you want, okay? I'll use F for Friday. Now on your own, you can use any variable you want. So not multiplied, doesn't come in a multiple, so we drop them down there with an addition, and we add the variable we're solving for into the inequality. So now you solve it. You want to combine the 8 and the 9. So that's 17 plus F greater than or equal to 25. Now you get the F by itself. You're going to minus 17, which doesn't change our sign. And that's 8. So F greater than or equal to 8. Now graph it. 0, 8. You close the circle, you can go greater than or equal to 8. Now I want you to copy that, and I want you to label the 8. Read the last sentence. Write and solve an inequality that gives the possible numbers of plants, so it would be 8 plants. Okay? Now I don't care if you use F, P, X, W, whatever. Okay? But you need to label it at the end. Okay, these really don't take that long, but knowing how to set them up can be a chore. I earn $12 per hour at my job. My goal is to earn $400 for the week. Write and solve an inequality that gives how many full hours I need to work to meet my goal. So goal is greater than or equal to. And your goal is $400. Now go cross that out. Now find me a matching label in the problem. Well, the only one you got is 12. Okay. Now, does that come in multiples or is it just a one time? Well, I hope the heck it comes in multiples since it's per hour. It's every hour. So you apply a multiple and you use a variable. Well, it's for hours, so it'd make most sense to me to use H. Now, if you use X, I don't care. Okay. 12 times H. You solve for H. Okay. So you're going to keep the sign the same because you're dividing, but it's going to be by a positive 12. 400 divided by 12. Now it wants full answers. It says so. So you don't round it though. That's not, rounding's not what you're doing. For full numbers you have 33, but you have a greater than sign. So you take it up to 34. If you have a less than sign, you keep it at 33. But you had greater, so you go to 34. Okay, graph it. So far I haven't had to expend a lot of energy other than my brain. Okay, so greater than 34. So you find the matching label. Ask yourself, does it come in a multiple? If it does, you multiply by a variable. That makes sense. H greater than or equal to 34. Okay. Label it. Write an inequality that gives how many full hours I need to work to meet my goal. So it's hours. Okay, next one, different. I go to a store with $50, means I have $50. I put have there for a reason. I'm buying Snickers and 3 Musketeers. Sorry about the typo. Snickers cost $3.99 per bag, and 3 Musketeers cost $4.99 per bag. I know I'm going to buy 8 bags of Snickers. Write and solve an inequality that gives how many full bags of Three Musketeers I can afford to buy. First off, cross out that 3 and write the word, because that's not used in the problem. That's the name of the candy bar. Okay. Have is not greater than. Have is less than or equal to what you have, because you would be less than or equal to that. Because you can't go over, you can't do more than what you have. It'd have to be less than. Now, find the dollars amounts. Right there, not there. That's not a dollars amount. That comes in later, but for now I'm just focused on my costs, my money amounts. Put those up there, 3.99 and 4.99. Now, $3.99, does that come in multiples? Well, it's for Snickers, and I'm probably going to buy more than one Snickers, so you're darn right it comes in a multiple. Now, there's another one, $4.99. That also comes in a multiple. Now, you can't use the same variable, okay? My advice to you is to say, okay, what are we paying $3.99 for? Snickers. Let's use S for that variable. What are you paying the $4.99 for? Three Musketeers. Don't use T as a variable. That looks like a plus sign. Use M. You're going to bring those down there with a plus sign between the expressions. So $3.99 times S, how many Snickers you bought, plus $4.99 times how many Three Musketeers you bought. Now you're like, Hermson, how do I solve this? I know it says how many bags of Three Musketeers, but I got 2 variables. Well, that's where the 8 comes in at. Would you put 8 in for S or M? That goes in for one of the variables. Well, it's 8 bags of Snickers, so it would probably go in for S. Now, what you do is you go in and scribble out the S and put 8. So now instead of $3.99 times S, it's $3.99 times 8. So you multiply those before we do anything else. 31.92. Now somebody's going to ask, is it 31.92 S? No, S is gone. As soon as I put that 8, S is out. So you have 31.92 plus 4.99 times M less than or equal to 50. Now you can solve for your M variable. So when you minus, the sign doesn't change, and when you divide, it don't change because you're dividing by positive. So minus 31.92 minus 31.92. So you have 4.99 times M, and you subtract these, you get 18.08. Now divide. So 18.08 divided by 4.99. Okay, yeah, you don't want to write that. It has to be full. Now it's a less than sign, though. So if it's less than, you do not take your 3 up to a 4. I don't care what's after the decimal. You leave it at 3. Okay, so there you go. So you fill in the circle. That's a less than sign, so it goes this way. Also, you wouldn't be able to go in the negatives, but don't worry about that for now. M is less than or equal to 3. In the label it says, write an inequality that gives how many full bags of Three Musketeers I can afford to buy. So 3 Musketeers. And actually, on a less than, on a story problem, you're going to block this off at 0 because you can't go into the negatives on a story problem. When your solutions would not be negative, they would cut off at 0. All right, now the next one. In a community garden, now this is different, okay? This is different. This talks about a shape. Talking about a shape is completely different than the multiples and all that crap. In a community garden, you want a fence in a vegetable garden. The width of the garden is 12 feet. You have 42 feet of fence. Write and solve an inequality that finds the possible lengths of the garden. So you have less than or equal. That's have, 42. You can put feet if you want, but with a shape, really you don't need the label, okay? I want you to look at this shape. You have to take this 42 feet of fence and put it around the outside of the garden on all four sides. So how many L's do you have? You have 2. So 2 times L. Why 2? Because there's 2 of them. Plus, you also have to wrap it around 2 widths, 2 times W. Now, we have to find the possible lengths, but one of those variables, the W preferably, has to be replaced with 12. Now, read the sentence with the 12. That's a width. The width of the garden is 12. So 12 replaces the W. So 2 times 12 is 24. So we now have 2. Don't put 24W. It's just 24 now. W's been out. Okay, then you solve it. When you minus, the sign won't change. When you divide, it ain't going to change. So you minus 24. Takes you to 18. 2 times L. Then you divide by 2. And then you get 9. Okay. So you have 0, you have 9. So you're going to fill your circle. It's less n, so it's that way. But the 0 would kind of cut it off. L is less than or equal to 9. Now, it says find the possible lengths of the garden. Just putting length is not a label. Okay, length, width, you label it feet or whatever the dimension is. Okay. All right, now I'm going to go over another round. The Environmental Club is selling indoor herb gardens for Earth Day. Each member is encouraged to sell 10 gardens. You sell 3 gardens Monday, 4 gardens on Tuesday. Write and solve an inequality to find possible numbers of gardens you can sell Wednesday to meet your goal. Goal, so that is greater than or equal. The goal is 10, okay? 10 gardens. Now, find how many gardens you had before you get to the 10. Well, I see 3 gardens, 4 gardens. So write 3, write 4. Do those come in multiples? Well, 3 was on a Monday, and there's not more than one Monday in a week. So no, that is not multiplied by anything. Same with the 4. There's only one Tuesday in a week. So you don't multiply these by anything. You write 3 plus 4 plus your variable. Now your variable could be X, G for gardens, W for Wednesday. Okay? I'll use W. You can use any variable you want. But to solve for the variable, you combine those. 3 plus 4 is 7, plus W greater than or equal to 10. Okay? Then your minus and 7, which doesn't change the sign. And W is greater than or equal to 3. Okay? Circle fillet goes this way. Now, write and solve an inequality to find the possible numbers of gardens. So it would be gardens as your label. Okay. So Wednesday you'd have to sell 3 or more gardens. Okay, next. My goal is to earn $500 at my job for the week. I make $15 per hour. Write and solve an inequality to find how many full hours I would need to work to meet my goal. Okay? Goal greater than or equal to $500. Now, what money amount that has that same label is going to make 500? Well, the only one I got is 15. Does it come in multiples? Well, yeah, better. It's per hour. Okay, so times H, or any letter you want. And that variable represents my answer. Okay, so the sign doesn't change. You divide by 15. We're going to have that same situation where we divide and we get that. It says full hours, so a greater than sign means you take the 33 up 1 unit to 34. Regardless of what's after that, doesn't matter. Circle fillet, greater than equal to 34. Okay, and the label on that is hours. Okay, next. I work 2 jobs. I make $11.25 per hour at Hy-Vee. I make $10 per hour at Baumgart's. My goal for the week is to earn $450. I know I'm slated to work 25 hours at Baumgart's. Write and solve an inequality that gives how many full hours I would need to work at Hy-Vee to meet my goal. Goal, greater than or equal. The goal is $450. Now, find numbers with that same label that help you meet the goal. 11, 25, 10, 25 is not a money amount. So write those two numbers. And you need to ask yourself the question, do they come in multiples? Well, yeah, they do, both of them, okay? I mean, that's going to occur more than once, and so is that, okay? But you can't use H and H. You need two different variables. So use capital H for Hy-Vee and capital B for Baumgart's. So you write those out with the plus. 11.25 times H plus 10 times B. Now, we have to find how many full hours I need to work at Hy-Vee. Well, you're like, what about the B? Well, 25. That 25's got to go somewhere. Hours at Baumgart's, that goes in for B. So we know how many multiples of 10 there are. There's 25. Okay, so then I multiply those. 10 times 25 is 250. So now you have 11.25 times H plus 250 is greater than or equal to 450. Okay, now when you minus, the sign doesn't change. It's not going to change when you divide either. So I subtract 250, and that takes me to 200. Okay. 11.25 times H. So then you divide by 11.25. Remember, it needs to be full hours. Okay. Okay, so that's a greater than sign, so you take it from 17 up 1 unit to 18. Okay, so now you graph it. Greater than 18. So H greater than or equal to 18. Now it says how many full hours. You can just label it hours. And if you want to put at Hy-Vee, that's fine. I don't care. Hours is good enough. So you have to work 18 or more hours at Hy-Vee to meet your goal, full hours. And then the last one. You want to make a rectangular banner with a length of 18 feet. You have 48 feet of trim for the banner. Write and solve an inequality that gives the possible widths of the banner. You have, okay? So that's less than or equal to 48. Now you can put feet if you want, but you don't write numbers up. Look at what you have. You have to wrap this around 4 sides, 2 of them L's and 2 of them W's. So 2 times W plus 2 times L. Why 2? Well, there's 2 of each. Okay. Now, you have to find the possible widths. Well, you got to put 18 into the inequality for one of your variables. Now, it says length of 18, so 18 it goes in for L. So now you take, instead of 2 times L, you have 2 times 18. 2 times 18 is 36. So 2 times W plus 36 less than or equal to 48. Then when you minus, it don't change. When you divide, it don't change either. So you subtract 36. That's 12. Divide by 2, divide by 2, and you get 6. Okay. Circle, fill it, close it. Less than goes this way. Now remember, it would stop at 0. I don't care if you put that there, but on a story problem, it kind of starts at 0. So W less than or equal to 6. Now, it says give the possible widths. Width is not a label. When your answer is length and width, you just label it feet. Okay.